Right now, continued rain across southern Wisconsin a day after a strong system brought with it heavy rain and a couple of tornadoes.
And Congressman Mark Pocan holding a town hall tonight in Sun Prairie, touching on the impeachment inquiry and the latest on the F-35s.
Plus, development in the Brendan Dassey case. His attorney is now asking Governor Evers to get involved.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us. We are expecting the showers to continue tonight, and we certainly don't need any additional rainfall.
The good news here, it won't be nearly as heavy as last night, and after this round, we should stay dry for a couple of days. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our first alert forecast from the Weather Center.
Every little bit helps, but while we are seeing some showers tonight, they are on the light side. As we check out satellite and radar, you can see the clouds a little bit thicker over southern Wisconsin, but they are starting to thin out farther out to the west. That bodes well for getting the showers out of here by late tonight. In fact, there's a break over western Wisconsin. We'll have to see whether that holds. We could still see a couple of showers pop up yet before morning. Otherwise, high temperatures were in the low 60s early this morning. Janesville was at 70 before the temperatures dropped, and we're now at our low temperature for the day in Madison at 53. Temperatures have dropped into the upper 40s from the Dells northward, and with dew point temperatures in the lower 50s and upper 40s, we're starting to see fog develop. Some areas seeing visibilities down to less than 5 miles, including Milwaukee and Sheboygan. Otherwise, look for some areas of fog as the showers end late tonight or early tomorrow morning. Tomorrow will be cloudy and breezy, but we could see some peaks of sunshine late in the afternoon as our high temperature gets up to 59 degrees. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
The city of Monona is offering free sand and bags tonight as part of the city still dealing with flooding from last night's storm. They are available at 2 locations, Oneida Park on Tecumseh Avenue and the parking lot at Winnetka Road and Healy Lane. There is also a slow no wake order in place for Lake Monona. The National Weather Service is surveying storm damage across southern Wisconsin today following last night's storms. This afternoon, they confirmed an EF0 tornado caused some significant damage in the Fort Atkinson area. Several roads were blocked off this morning because of debris. The police chief says 8 homes were damaged and tree limbs fell on 10 cars. Around 30 trees were uprooted and 100 saw significant limb damage. In the Belleville area, the National Weather Service has concluded it was not a tornado, but straight-line winds that downed and snapped several trees there. Wind gusts were upwards of 70 to 80 miles per hour. One of those uprooted trees caused a gas leak, damaging a gas main, prompting evacuations about this time last night. People were allowed back into their homes early this morning.
Closer to Milwaukee, another confirmed tornado. An EF1 touched down about 3 miles southwest of the village of Sullivan, not far from the National Weather Service office in rural Jefferson County. It touched down near Rome Road and County Road P. They say maximum wind gusts hit 100 miles an hour. And the football field at Fond du Lac High School, look at it, underwater now for the second time in 6 months. Last happened in March, but now it's the heart of football season. 2 homecoming games for Fond du Lac High School and St. Mary Springs will hinge on what happens after that water recedes. And after storm damage, the Better Business Bureau says look out for scammers looking to take advantage of you. If you need to hire a contractor, beware of those out-of-town storm chaser contractors who go door to door. Make sure you get references. Beware of price gouging. Get everything in writing and check out the company with the Better Business Bureau. We have more information on what you need to know at Channel3000.com. Next at 10, President Trump is ramping up his attacks against the Democrats' impeachment inquiry.
Lawmakers say they plan to issue more subpoenas this week if the administration doesn't cooperate. At a White House press conference, President Trump addressed the political storm enveloping him. He hammered Democrats over their ongoing impeachment inquiry, from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff. The president also punted questions about what he asked the Ukrainian president about regarding his political rival.
What did you want President Zelensky to do with regard to Joe and Hunter Biden?
Biden and his son are stone cold crooked, and you know it.
The question, sir, was what did you want President Zelensky to do about Vice President Biden and his son Hunter?
Are you talking to me?
Democrats warned if the White House stonewalls any further in this inquiry, it could be an impeachable offense.
Representative Mark Pocan back in Wisconsin today answering some questions about what's going on in Washington and in Madison. Our Amy Reed went to his town hall and joins us now with what he had to say. Amy?
Spokane made 2 stops on this tour, one in Rock County and one in Dane County. There was some crossover at both when it came to healthcare and farming, but Madison wants to know about F-35s, and of course, he couldn't ignore impeachment.
And it just feels like so powerless right now because nothing's going to get done in the Senate.
Representative Mark Pocan took questions from the room today during one of his town hall stops. He said the big thing on everyone's mind is impeachment.
We kind of have a motive, we have a crime, we have a confession, and we have evidence. So it's kind of jump-starting the process quite a bit. Now we just got to make sure we get the totality of it, who else might be involved, was there a cover-up, and move from there.
He said the process is ongoing, but he's also focused on other problems, including the cost of prescription drugs and F-35s coming to Madison.
If you don't have a plane there, there is really no guarantee that you will have the 115th there.
He said losing F-35s could mean a big economic hit in Madison, but questions over what the Air Force has said are valid. He's been unlucky in his attempts to bring in an F-35 for a side-by-side comparison in noise, but said the Air Force told him there will be no nuclear weapons stored at the 115th. He pushed and was granted 30 extra days for public comment on the environmental impact statement, but emphasized any comments should be specific.
My goal is, if they are going to come, that one, we understand what the noise will be and what the frequency of flights will be and what that means to homes in the area, but also to make sure that we can fight for dollars for people. If there is going to be a problem, we need to be able to do that.
He also brought up concerns over what farmers in Wisconsin are facing, including tariffs and recent comments by the country's ag secretary that small farms may not survive.
Small family farms are the backbone of our rural economy in Wisconsin, and you shouldn't have to go big or go home. We should be doing everything we can to support farmers, and the president's kind of tariffs by tweet have done a lot of damage to farms in Wisconsin, and we're trying to reverse that.
Pocan said the U.S. House was able to get a lot done during this session, including passing nearly 250 bills that cover a $15 minimum wage and equal pay. However, he said only a fraction of those were taken up by the Senate.
A lot of ground to cover. Amy Reed reporting. Amy, thank you.
Democratic presidential candidate Senator Bernie Sanders is recovering after a heart procedure. He was hospitalized in Las Vegas yesterday after experiencing chest discomfort at a campaign event. His campaign says a medical evaluation and testing showed that 78-year-old senator had a blockage in an artery requiring 2 stents. Governor Tony Evers addressing the Verona Road Business Coalition this evening as they celebrate another upcoming milestone in the project. The Nesbitt-Fitch-Verona Road roundabout is opening Friday, and 3 lanes of Verona Road in both directions between Raymond Road and McKee Road are scheduled to open in early November.
This is important. The overwhelming support from the collective local leadership that are over here today and the business community was key to the successful delivery of this project.
As for the entire project, there's one more construction season left. It is slated to be complete in 2020.
Governor Evers says he will carefully review a pardon application filed on behalf of 29-year-old Brendan Dassey. Dassey is one of the subjects of the Netflix series Making a Murderer. He confessed to helping his uncle Stephen Avery commit the 2005 murder of Teresa Halbach. Dassey is now serving a life sentence, but his lawyers argue that his confession was coerced and that he's innocent. A handwritten letter from Dassey asked the governor to restore his rights with a pardon or get his sentence reduced with a commutation.
We're confident that when the governor looks at this case, watches those interrogation videos, speaks to the people involved, gives Brendan Dassey a hearing, we're confident that he's going to see this is exactly the kind of case that the clemency power is tailor-made for.
Now, Dassey's case does not meet the eligibility requirements to apply for a pardon because he has not completed his sentence. Governor Evers said this afternoon that his Pardon Advisory Board carefully considers all applications, even those they would otherwise reject. American Transmission Company is hoping to have MG&E's Blount substation back up working by mid-October following the fires over the summer. According to a news release, the new transformer is currently on site being tested. Those fires happened on July 19th at both the Blount and East Campus substations. Today, ATC says investigators traced the cause to a mechanical failure of a voltage regulating component at the Blount location. They say they're also continuing to work with the DNR for environmental cleanup efforts.
Investigators are still trying to determine what caused a World War II-era bomber to crash land at Bradley International Airport in Connecticut this afternoon, killing 7 people. Just 5 minutes into the flight, the pilot reported a problem. Airport officials say the bomber slammed into a maintenance facility on the ground. 13 people were on board the plane, 10 passengers and 3 crew. A person on the ground was also injured. The B-17 was one of only 18 in the country. A barge carrying gravel and sand up the Ohio River this morning plows right into a yacht club in northern Kentucky. Around 6 o'clock this morning, the driver of the barge couldn't make a turn in the river and just plowed into not only about a dozen boats, but also took the entire yacht club with it. And that includes a bar, restaurant, dance floor, kitchen. All of it pushed up the river onto the rocks where it would eventually sink. No one was hurt.
A wild high-speed chase tonight in California playing out on live television. It started as a reported stolen Kia Optima. The driver also suspected of driving under the influence. The suspected armed man and his female passenger carjacked that pickup truck right there. A short while later, they missed the turn and crashed that truck. And then after exiting the vehicle, the man was able to kind of circle around through the desert there and somehow was able to get into that California Highway Patrol car and took off. The chase, often exceeding 100 miles per hour, going through the desert. The chase ended after about an hour when the suspect was unable to get the stolen police car over a curb and started to spin out. A deputy with the Collier County Sheriff's Office in Florida made a special delivery earlier today. Deputy Robert Pounds pulled over a speeding car in the Naples area this morning, going 63 in a 45. Now, once the deputy approached the vehicle, he realized the passenger was in labor. Pounds called for paramedics and backup before grabbing a blanket to help deliver a baby girl. Paramedics arrived and then took mom and baby, healthy, we understand, to the hospital.
Congratulations. In less than 3 weeks, a special honor flight will take veterans to our nation's capital to see the memorials built in their honor. Inside the Lambeau Field atrium, details were announced for an upcoming Stars and Stripes honor flight for 240 veterans and alumni from the Brewers, Bucks, and Green Bay Packers.
While we do play different sports, our teams all have one thing in common, and that's great respect for those who have served and are serving in the military.
The morning of October 19th, 2 plane loads of veterans and alumni from the Bucks and Brewers will fly out of Milwaukee headed to Washington, D.C. Simultaneously, a 3rd plane of veterans and Packers alumni will leave from Green Bay. Since 2008, Stars and Stripes Honor Flight has taken 7,200 local veterans on these free trips, but this is the first time the 3 professional sports teams have joined together in a flight of champions. Still ahead tonight, reaction from the Brewers after a heartbreaking end to the season last night.
But first, a look at how much rain we can expect as we enter the second half of the work week. Your full forecast moments away. Stay with us.
$100 million. That's how much one consulting firm says General Motors will soon lose in profits by week's end because of an ongoing strike. The Anderson Economic Group warns GM could lose $90 million a day if the strike continues. Members of the United Automobile Workers Union have not been working for 3 weeks now. That strike is also impacting families in southern Wisconsin.
That's right. More than 100 former Janesville employees who now commute to work in other parts of the country for GM are among those striking workers. They say not having their usual salaries for the last couple weeks and not being able to return home has taken a toll. They say their situation among some of the most unique.
You not only got to worry about your house payment back home, but you're dealing with you got to rent. A lot of us got a rent payment down here, so you got 2 times the bills.
That donor says the most challenging part of the strike is not knowing when it will end.
A scorching fall day in the nation's capital. Today was the hottest October day on record in the Washington, D.C. metro area. According to the National Weather Service, Dulles International Airport, the highs reached 95, breaking the all-time high record for October. Highs reached 97 at Reagan National Airport, also breaking the record. This week is the start of cranberry harvest season. Farmers say it's later than usual, but the cranberry crop is on track. Cranberries are grown by roughly 250 farmers throughout 20 counties in the state. Wisconsin is home to the largest production of cranberry crops in the world.
That's one crop doesn't mind the water too much. But boy, we have had a lot, Gary.
You know, back in the day when I did the weather up in Rhinelander, we used to have to do a cranberry bog forecast every night.
Big business.
Because it is a big business. But we don't need any more rain. We've already exceeded the amount of rain that we normally have for the entire month of October, and we're only 2 days into it. Right now, Madison, just a little over 3¼ inches of rain, but some of the amounts over the last 48 hours, nearly 6 inches in Beaver Dam, 4½ inches in Lodi, and around 4 inches in Sauk City and DeForest. And now we're seeing area rivers above flood stage. Many of the smaller to mid-sized rivers going above flood stage. The Wisconsin River right now below flood stage, but as that water starts to work its way into the larger rivers like the Wisconsin and the Mississippi River, you'll start to see those go into flood stage. Mississippi already above flood stage in parts of Grant County into northwestern Illinois, and that's because of the rain that fell last night. 2 to 4 inches or more from east central Wisconsin through around Lone Rock and then back into southwestern Wisconsin as well. The rain tonight, much lighter, just some light showers. There are some thunderstorms, but they're farther to the south. They will not affect southern Wisconsin, and the rain is actually breaking up out to the west, so we might actually get the rain out of here a little bit earlier than forecast. That would be good news. Last night we had severe weather. It started out in Iowa, some tornado reports in southwestern Iowa. Then those storms tracked northeastward into southern Wisconsin with tornado reports near Sullivan and Fort Atkinson. Now we have to look at the rainfall, the next batch of rainfall, which will be here from Friday night into Saturday. GFS computer model showing about a ½ inch in Madison, heavier amounts of an inch or more, mainly through central Wisconsin. The European computer model showing about the same amount here in Madison, and about the same amount, just a little bit more than that. And again, keeps the heavier amounts farther to the north. That would be good news for us if that turns out to be the case, because after that, much, if not all of next week, will be dry. As we take a look at the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, seeing just a little bit of light fog in the lights of the Capitol. As we check out the almanac for today, high temperature of 61 was early this morning. Low temperature is where we are now at 53 degrees. Skies are mostly cloudy. You have some drizzle and light rain showers. Winds out of the northeast at 9 miles per hour, and the humidity high, so that's when you'd expect fog. High temperatures today only in the 40s up near Lake Superior, 70s across northern Illinois, but now temperatures are in the 40s through much of the northern half of the state and low 50s here. The upper level winds from the southwest, a big heat dome with temperatures in the mid-90s as far north as Indianapolis, Indiana. But that's dividing that with snow up in North Dakota, where temperatures are in the 30s right now. You can see the surface weather map. The dividing line is that front. High temperatures 90s near the Ohio River and barely above 40 in the north part of the United States near the U.S.-Canadian border. So that's a big contrast. Showers, scattered areas of fog overnight. Low temperature at 53, but tomorrow any lingering showers will end early. It'll be cloudy and breezy for much of the day with a high of 59, but we could see a few breaks in the clouds later in the afternoon. On Futurecast, the rain showers should move out by early tomorrow morning. Low temperatures drop into the middle 50s. Highs tomorrow upper 50s with some breaks in the clouds late in the day. Partly cloudy tomorrow night. That will allow temperatures to drop into the lower 40s. And then we're back in the mid to upper 50s on Friday with partly sunny skies. Next chance of rain won't arrive until Friday night. The rain for the rest of tonight, very light, probably less than 1/10 of an inch in most areas. But as we look at the 7 to 10 day forecast, another shot of showers late Friday night, showers and thunderstorms Saturday. But after that, hopefully, We can stay dry for much, if not all of next week. A chance of showers Thursday afternoon. Otherwise, I have no rain in that forecast for the rest of the week.
Oh, thank goodness.
Let's hope that holds true.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Gary. Devontae Adams did not practice today, but will he be ready to play in Dallas on Sunday? The latest coming up in sports.
Badger volleyball starts a big week. They play 5th-ranked Penn State, then travel to 3rd-ranked Nebraska Saturday. Tonight at the Fieldhouse against the Nittany Lions, Penn State wins the first set, but here come the Badgers in the second. Grace Loberg with a big swing, and the Badgers tie it at a set apiece. Wisconsin seems to be getting things together. We saw some offense. Now here's some defense with a double block. The Badgers get a big win tonight, 3-1 over 5th-ranked Penn State. The Big Ten held its men's basketball media day to preview the season outside of Chicago today. The big topic around Greg Gard and the Badgers, how the team is dealing with a tragic accident involving the family of assistant coach Howard Moore in May. Moore's wife and daughter were killed in the crash in Michigan, and Moore continues a slow recovery from his injuries. Gard says it's been incredibly difficult for the entire Wisconsin basketball program to move on.
It's uncharted territory. There's not a manual for how do you handle those things. And as I've gone through my career, I've been advised on many things and have gotten great mentorship from a lot of different people. But that is an area, and that's been an experience that, there's not not a roadmap for that.
The coaches have done a great job of instilling confidence in us and just being a voice and being there for us. We've had moments of doubt, and I think that the coaches have definitely instilled that confidence back to this team.
The Packers head to Dallas to play the Cowboys Sunday afternoon at 3:25. The big question is, will Davante Adams play? The Packers' leading receiver didn't practice today. He has turf toe, which doesn't sound like much, but it often is a very slow process to get it right. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers says don't count out his favorite target.
Nothing really surprised me with 17. I mean, he's one of those rare guys who just has that toughness about him and the ability to play through stuff. I look at the 15 season when he was, playing on one leg most of the year, and hopefully it's this week or next week.
The Brewers' season ended last night with a frustrating 4-3 loss in the wild card game in Washington. A disappointing end, but a remarkable year.
Could have easily quit a lot of times along the way, but I think people really got to see the character of our team, the fight, the heart of our guys, and we'll be better off for it.
If it's 52 degrees, windy and rainy, playing golf usually isn't at the top of the list, but they played on at the WIA Division II Girls Golf Regional at Pleasant View. They played 18 holes. The rounds took over 5 hours, but they made it. Edgewood won the team event. Wisconsin Dells, Cambridge, and Darlington also advanced to the sectional. Edgewood's Grace Welch had the best score, 76. Prep Mania High School Football Game of the Week. Monona Grove at Oregon will be live on channel3000.com Friday night at 7. And believe it or not, the National Hockey League season began tonight. It started with the Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues raising their championship banner, the first title in franchise history. The Blues beat the Boston Bruins in last year's final. Tonight, the Capitals beat the Blues in the opener, 3-2 in overtime. We'll be right back.
Well, some showers rolling on through. They are starting to break up a little bit farther out to the west. Could be some areas of fog. Right now, no fog in Madison, but lakeshore areas seeing visibilities dropping, as well as some patchy areas inland. Otherwise, look for another round of rain from Friday night into Saturday, and then dry weather for much of next week. That'll be good news.
All right, Gary, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.